Khamzat Chimaev and Colby Covington, the two villains of the UFC's welterweight division. We got Colby Covington, the man that called Brazil a stinking dump or whatever. I'm not too sure the exact words from Colby Covington, but he's a very controversial fighter in the welterweight division and is sort of a villain as well in the UFC's welterweight division. And after Saturday, and also Friday, when Khamzat Chimaev went out there, missed weight, flipped off the camera, and then went out there and said he did not even care about missing weight, said he'd kill everyone, he would smash everyone. I mean, we have two villains on our hand in Khamzat Chimaev and Colby Covington. And it only makes sense when Colby Covington comes back by the end of 2022, the beginning of 2023, that it could definitely be a fight with a Khamzat Boris Chimaev. And what would my prediction be? We've done early predictions for this fight plenty of times. A few months ago, a few years ago. I mean, we've done this prediction a lot of times, but my prediction keeps on changing every single time Khamzat Chimaev goes out there. Every single time I see how effortlessly he's picking up and taking people down, showing his submission skills, showing his size, showing his strength. My prediction just gets a little bit more confusing for Khamzat Chimaev and Colby Covington, because on one hand, we have Colby Covington with insane cardio, insane pressure, insane volume with his striking, and could easily go out there, lose some of the early rounds, Khamzat using his size, using his strength in round 1 and round number 2, and then Colby just going out there and using the cardio and trying to survive those early rounds and beat Khamzat Chimaev in the later rounds with constant pressure, constant volume, constant cardio in round 3, round 4, and round 5. That was my original thought, was that Khamzat has never been in a 5-round fight. It was looking a little sloppy against Gilbert Burns in their fight as well, and I still think he's probably going to look a little bit sloppy when he does fight Colby Covington in the later rounds. I don't really predict a finish here. I don't think Colby has the ability to go out there, submit Khamzat Chimaev to knock out. Khamzat Chimaev, the last time he got a legit finish was Max Griffin back in 2016. The other one was the Tyron Woodley one, which was a rib injury. So no, Colby's not going to get the finish. Khamzat could get the finish. I mean, if he can get a guillotine on Colby Covington, whose most recent loss, other than the 2 Kamaru Usman fights, was a guillotine loss to Warley Alves, there is a chance that in one of those transitions, if Colby attempts a takedown, if Khamzat attempts a takedown, gets that front headlock position, could possibly pull a guillotine, pull a Darce choke like he did with Kevin Holland. So again, this is a very interesting fight, and again, I think it's going to be a banger. I think the press conferences leading up to this fight with Khamzat Chimaev as well as Colby Covington are going to be none other than absolutely amazing. Because on one hand, you got Colby that's going to be out here constantly talking about Khamzat Chimaev missing weight, talking about him going out there, getting a decision win over Gilbert Burns, or whatever the case may be. Colby's going to be like, talking about his Chechen gang. I don't know what the trash talk is really going to consist of in this fight. All I know is Khamzat's going to go out there talking about killing Colby Covington. Colby's going to be calling him all sorts of names, and the press conferences are going to be amazing. The trash talk is going to be amazing. The Twitter beef, the Instagram beef is going to be absolutely insane between Khamzat Chimaev and Colby Covington. And it's going to result in a very, very good fight of the night type of battle between Colby and Khamzat Chimaev, because they're both really good wrestlers. They're both really good grapplers. I cannot see Khamzat just ragdolling Colby Covington on the ground. He might be able to land a takedown or two like Kamaru Usman was able to, but he's not going to keep him there. So it's going to be a 5-round banger of a striking fight between Khamzat Boris Chimaev and Colby Covington, and it comes down to, can Colby survive the early onslaught, and can he mix in the kicks in the later rounds 2, round 3, round 4, and round 5, because the kicks are going to be what gets him the win. Because we've even seen in the Gilbert Burns fight, his pressure on the feet is very good. Round number 3, he was still pressuring Gilbert Burns, trying to land some big shots. He was getting pressure by Gilbert Burns, and he was handling the pressure quite well in landing boxing combinations, but a lot of the punches that Khamzat Chimaev was using in that fight were whooping punches, left hooks, right hooks, overhands, uppercuts, and things like that, which is, yes, is going to allow Khamzat to land the harder shots on Colby and potentially allow him to be more likely to get the finish than Colby Covington would be against Khamzat Chimaev. But still, Colby's going to be landing more volume. He's going to be picking him apart at range with the jab and with the 1-2 win, as Khamzat is looking for those big shots. And at the same time, Colby, with his really good body kicks, with his leg kicks at range, with his movement, standing on the outside, picking him apart at range, kicking him, body kicking him, leg and kicking him. I think that's what's going to allow Colby Covington to get the win here on the judges' scorecards, because the judges are definitely looking for what are the more effective strikes, which I think are going to be from Khamzat Chimaev early on in the fight. Round 1, round 2, like I've been saying this entire video, is round 1, round 2. Khamzat's going to be looking good. I mean, I have no debate. Khamzat probably is going to win those early rounds. But once it gets late, once Khamzat Chimaev's looping punches start to become very drowsy and very slow looping punches, that's going to allow Colby to land a lot more volume, be a little bit less hesitant to come into range and land his combinations on Khamzat Chimaev, and that's where Colby's really going to start taking over in this fight. But it's still a close one. I still think Khamzat has a legit chance of winning, because if he's able to go out there, land those big shots round 1 and round number 2, and he's able to conserve enough energy to mix in some clinch work, some knees in the clinch, some elbows in the clinch, a takedown attempts, and some big shots in round number 3, you can definitely steal this fight on the judges' scorecards. In my opinion, it all comes down, this fight all rests in the balance of round number 3, because round 4, round 5, going Colby. Colby's just going to be landing too much volume, too many kicks. Khamzat's not going to be able to put on the same amount of pressure. But again, round 1, round 2, Colby's not going to be able to show his movement and his cardio in the later rounds, fighting a guy that's going to be a little bit winded in Khamzat Chimaev in round 1 or round 2. So Khamzat wins round 1, Khamzat wins round 2, Colby wins round 4, Colby wins round 5. Who the heck wins round number 3? And I've been contemplating this all day in the lead up to making this video, because it's legit a hard thing to decide, because we've never seen Khamzat Chimaev train for 5 rounds. We don't know if he's going to play round number 3 conservatively, because he's trying to conserve gas for round 3 and round number 4. I don't know what Khamzat Chimaev is going to look like in those later rounds. It's very, very tough. I'm going to go Khamzat Chimaev. I'm gonna go Khamzat Chimaev. He is 28 years old coming into the Colby Covington fight, if it does eventually happen inside of the UFC, and I do believe Khamzat is going to be training relentlessly for the cardio. If he does get scheduled for a 5-round fight that he legitimately thinks is going to go 5 rounds, because Kevin Holland, you know, that's not going to probably go 5 rounds, but if he legitimately thinks that the fight with Colby is going to go 5 rounds, that he's going to have to train for 5 rounds, I think his cardio will be able to hold up for at least 3 rounds, and I think he wins those early 3 rounds, rocks Colby a few times on the feet. Colby will come back a little bit towards the end, and we'll see a Khamzat Chimaev 48-47 decision here in the welterweight division, if he's able to cut to the welterweight division. But that is the early/future prediction if this Colby Covington Khamzat Chimaev fight potentially happens, because I don't think Khamzat deserves a title shot as of right now inside of the UFC's welterweight division, because if we look at the UFC's welterweight division, he beat Kevin Holland and he beat Gilbert Burns right now in the welterweight division. Usman and Edwards are about to fight. Khamzat and Colby right there for the taking to see who is going to fight for the belt next. It's a perfect fight to make next. In the welterweight division, I'm leaning Khamzat Chimaev by a close decision.